Alright, so I got my leg out here. This is the non-brake side. So I actually rated the brake side leg. That was sort of a pain in the butt. But you know, first time you do something, as always, is made a bunch of mistakes. So anyways, so I got the leg out. I need to take off the end cap over here so I could drain out the oil. Once I do that, I could take this piece apart and heat up the bottom, the axle holder here, so I could unscrew that from the lower leg. And that's red Loctite on here, so I need to heat that up, you know, with the heat gun right here. So let's do that right now. Here's my little oil drain Canama bob thing here. Let's see, I could do this cleanly. Last time I did this, I made a freaking mess. There was oil everywhere. So I already unscrewed this top. I'm not sure what size it is. I'm guessing it's a 36 millimeters maybe, but I have no idea because oh, okay. I should see the oil. Actually, I can actually see how much oil there is in here. So looking at this thing, this is factory fill, all right? This is a factory fill. Oh, get in the shade here so you can see a little better. So this is a factory fill. Actually, let me pump it a few times to see how far in it is. So yeah, so it's definitely down. So looking at the service manual, Honda says that once the fork leg down here on the bottom, well, this part right here, once you bring it all the way down until the seal touches the lower end of the fork, the axle holder end of the fork, from the top of this top of the fork leg here, so the top up here, the fork leg, down to where the oil is, that level should be, that distance should be 75 millimeters in height. But on the Ohlins, it's actually a little bit different. They actually have more oil than that, because basically Honda says 216 cc's of oil. Ohlins says 230 cc's of oil, so 15 cc's of oil. So basically, if you have the Ohlins in here, it'll be almost to the top of this inner leg. So the gold is the outer leg, and in the inside ring that you see in there, that's the inner leg. So they'll be almost level with that, just barely below that. So let's dump that out. Okay. So I'm gonna flip this thing upside down. Actually, you know what? Let me unscrew this head here. Okay, I should do that. Oops. Okay, dripping oil there. I think I should do that first. Unscrew that head. So this head here is this head up here is this little nut right here. It's a 17 millimeter, and obviously you need the I'm using a open end wrench. It's really not open end wrench, a adjustable wrench. Let's see, where the heck's my 17? Okay, there it is. 17 millimeter and a adjustable wrench. Oh, this would be a good spot for using a flare nut wrench. Should have grabbed my flare nut wrench instead. That's fine. That's alright. So like so. Oh, it's tight. Feels tight. Use this arm here. Hopefully I don't spill oil everywhere. Don't squat down and get on the fork, get my knees, the fork between my knees, so it doesn't drop the fork leg. Okay, so I just loosen it up right there. So I'm gonna leave this thing kind of wiggly like that, so that way I can take off the bottom nut easy as well. So now this should just slide out, but slide out, I mean screw out. So it's not really screwing out easy. So I guess I have to. Whoa, I'm losing my balance there. Just have to use this to hold the piece again. Oops. Use this to hold it down. Why I just do that. Okay, so that's loose. Alright, so see that there. So let's see what this piece entails. So this top cap obviously has an O-ring on it right here. So the top cap unscrews, there's an O-ring, and underneath that there's a little rubber stopper right here. So we're gonna reuse this stopper. If you look at it, you see that it's tapered. One side is a little bit narrower and the other side is a little bit wider. So we're gonna reuse this on the Olens. So hang on to that one. We don't need the top cap anymore. But that's the top cap with the O-ring on there. We don't need that anymore. So set that aside. Then there's the washer. You know, it's a pretty thick washer. You know, acts like a spacer almost. So there's that. Then there's a little nut right here. So, and I had this because I was using the nut to hold down the to hold the leg here, the inner leg here, from spinning. So now I need to somehow figure out to hold this thing. So with that, I'm going to use a little vice grip. Don't use the vice grip directly on here, otherwise it's gonna scratch. You're gonna scratch your inner leg, and you don't want to do that. So I have a little bit of a little rag here. Get the rag and kind of cover it up a little bit. Or in this case, I have a old T-shirt. So do that. I'm gonna use my pliers here. So don't clamp it too hard, otherwise it's gonna dig into your inner leg there. I think that's good enough. From there, loosen that up a little bit. Okay, and it's real light, so that's why you don't need to clamp this too tight. Okay. So last time when I did this, I didn't take this off. The first time I did this, I didn't take this off. I actually just pumped it with the cap on there, and it kind of made a mess. Let's see if it makes less of a mess this time around. So there we go. Do that. So let me look at my inner leg real fast. See if I scratched it. And it looks like I did not. Yeah, no, I didn't scratch it. So very light clamp. So now that you have this part off, be mindful, because if you just hold the leg by itself, it's just gonna slide right off, and the whole thing could just your lower leg here will just slide right off, and you could just it'll separate basically. So so be mindful of that. Let's go back to here. So we can dump out that oil. So just pump that lower leg. I mean, pump the outer leg, I should say. Just like so. Yeah, this is much cleaner. Last time, man, I spilled oil everywhere. Jeez. bugs buzzing around me. It's bugging the shit out of me. It's little flies actually. Little baby flies. So it's gonna take a little while to do this. So I'm just gonna stop the video, but that's all you need to do is just pump it for a few minutes, and it'll once it stops flowing down, that means you know you're good.